Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you a couple little tricks with the Mosin Nagant to make it so that it's a little more accurate, a little more friendly to use, easier, just all around better. With a couple simple little tricks that are non-obtrusive. They don't take anything away from the rifle. You don't mess around with it. You don't screw it up. It's I think they're pretty good. You might want to call it ghetto tactics. Whatever you want to call it, it works. So here's the Mosin. I don't really know anything about these things except that I've made it pretty accurate out to about 500 yards so far using the iron sights. And here's a couple little tools that I'm going to show you. You're going to be needing razor blade, one of these little correction pens, whatever, just like whiteout kind of stuff. One of these torches. They're pretty good for melting shit. You need one of these, I don't know, it's just a little mini rubber band. I'm sure you can find something like that. It's about that size though. You're going to want something that big that you can fold it. And then one of these zip ties. Each one of these has its own specific function. So what the problem was in the beginning was, I think that a lot of people with Mosins have issues with, is the trigger. So when I first got this trigger, it was just flopping all over the place like it was, I don't know, like some kind of, whatever you want to call it. It's just floppity, flippity, floppity, fucking all over the place. So what I did, simple fix, made it so that it's got some tension, some torque right here. Take the bolt out. And if you look inside here, not even sure if you can see inside there, but maybe I can just show you real quick. So inside there, you see that little piece of rubber in there? When you pull the trigger, that little sear or whatever the hell that thing is called, I don't know anything about these things. Usually what happens is it comes back and it goes all the way back, but I filled it up with a little bit of rubber, like plastic rubber that I used, and that's what that was. Those are this little pieces. And all I did was I took this torch and I just melted it. And when I melted it, I turned it into a little functioning piece of rubber that's right inside there. I'm sure you can see that. Just like that. And so you see, when you pull the trigger, that little bit of rubber in there stops it from coming back. I mean, I don't know what you want to call it, but to me, that seems to have worked quite well. Oh, where the hell did that have to go? Right there, yeah. That's a little bit easier to see. So yeah, like I was saying, when you pull on that trigger, so all you got to do is melt a little bit of rubber, jam it in there. The bolt slides in no problem. There's no problem when you put that bolt in there. See that? Back and forth. No problem. Comes out. I mean, I'm using one hand here, but no problem. And it doesn't mess with it. So that is one tiny little fix that makes it so that when you're doing this, bam, look at that. It's taut. It's torqued. Before, I know you guys have Mosins. Whoever has a Mosin knows you flap that thing and it's just like crap. So anyway, there's the first fix. Pretty simple. I'm sure it's going to degrade over time, but then you just do it over again. I mean, it's unintrusive. It costs nothing except for a little bit of time to get that in there. And like I said, you got to put that right inside. Make sure you squeeze it nicely in there, and it should be totally fine. So that's fix number one. Fix number 2, which is a little bit more difficult, had to do with the sights themselves. So regarding the sights, what you're going to need are a couple little tools here. So I got these things here, pretty simple. There's a razor blade. You always need a razor blade. You can see there's a little bit of that on there, and I'll show you why. It's been scorched by the torch. So you'll need the torch, the razor blade, one of these little things, I don't know what this is called. It's a correction pen. Yeah, that's what this is. It's a little dot correction pen. This is for the sights, because the sights came in, and I don't know, this might have been a refurbished model or something like that, but they shoot high, they shoot low. It doesn't matter if it's high or low. Left or right would be a big deal, but high and low, no problem. And that's what this is for. This will correct that. It makes it it doesn't correct it, it makes it a little easier. This, on the other hand, is the thing that corrects it. It's a little zip tie. You take this thing, and I'll show you what you do with that after. This has to do with this, and we're going to be melting some things on there. So those are the little tools that you're going to need so far. And we dealt with the trigger. Pretty simple fix. I hope you guys can figure out how to do that. Doesn't take much. You just got to really make sure you squeeze it in there, and then test it and melt it and turn it nice. So here we go. I'm going to show you on the back a real simple thing my buddy showed me. You see these little notches, little knobs there, nibs, or whatever the hell you want to call it. You can see that. Let me focus on there. Zoom in. All I did was just put a couple little dots on that thing. I don't know why this thing's not focusing. There it is. Sort of. Anyway, you get the idea. Go there, and also on the front sight. If you take a look on the front sight, there's just a little dot. The post, a little front post. Now the front post is what I'm going to be talking about. Because somehow or other, I think whoever made this, or refurbished it, or whatever you want to call it, refurbished this Mosin, made it so that it was shooting all over the place. Like, I think this thing was put on here, and it was put on incorrectly, or as a moderation of something. Anyway, it was shooting way too high. So what I did, instead of doing some kind of crazy fix, like, you know, permanent fix or something like that, all I did was take the front post and let's see if we can get in there nice and close and see. Can you guys see that? Take the front post. I use this thing, right? All I do is take this, melt it onto the post itself, and then dab it down from this side. I just come in like this, use my torch, melt it on there, not a problem. And then after I'm done that, I just take it off. You can add as much as you want, take off as much as you want, and do whatever you want. And the thing is going to be functioning. Let's look at it from the other side. So yeah, take a look at that. You can see that sucker is on there. I mean, mine was off by like, I don't know, I think I was shooting high by like a foot or so. Having a hard time focusing on there. There we go. So anyway, that's what you do. You just take your little piece and you dab it on top of the post. I mean, I can't do it while I'm holding this like this. You just take it, you put it real close to that. You get that torch going, you melt it, melt this little thing. And then you tap it right on there, right on the post. Tap, 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 tap. And then what happens is that thing sticks to it because it's, I don't know, it's pretty good little plastic. And then from there, you just build it up. And then you put a little bit of this whiteout on the post itself. Simple as that. We'll put it on the black so you can actually see it. There you go. And now you're talking. That's all you do. A couple little dabs of that whiteout on there. See that? It's pretty rudimentary, but it actually works quite well. And that just enhances the visibility. And then, like I said, when you come down here, you can see that post. It's nice. It's a lot higher. I'd say I had to go up like maybe 1/8 of an inch or something like that. And then I got it to exactly where I needed to go. I wasted a lot of ammunition wondering what the hell is going on, and then I finally figured that out. And well, I'm a happy little camper now. So anyway, there you go. Those are a couple little fixes. Raise the post if you're shooting all over the place. It's very unintrusive. You can take that off no problem, but it doesn't come off if you don't want it to. And you can polish the sides, you can grind it down, repaint it, and do whatever you want. So there you go. There's the front post sight. There's the rear sight with the little dots, highly visible, makes it so much better to use. Bloody hell. And then there's the internal little mechanism for where the trigger is. And that little piece of rubber adds just the right amount of resistance and bounce for the trigger to stay nice and taut. Not loose at all. And I know you guys know that is always an issue. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope it was a little bit, clear enough for you and simple. And there she is, that little Mosin Nagant, 500-yard beast.